it's Katie from the Scrappy Sisters, and I'm up today with another Scrap Madness video. This is using a cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and the cut file is called Bedtime Friends. It's this super cute, a sheep, a rabbit, and a teddy bear all holding hands, and it just reminded me a lot of some of the comforters that my son has, and I wanted to use it on a layout. So I am using the Craft Hide and Seek collection, which I think was a collection from last year. It's definitely a kid-related collection, and it's cute, and I'm trying to use it up while he is still kind of a babyish enough, because it is quite a young-ish collection. I don't have much paper left, but I've still got quite a bit of ephemera, because for some reason I ended up with like 2 ephemera packs, and yes, a lot. And so yeah, that is what I'm doing. So I am going with one of my kind of go-to designs, which is a horizontal type design, and I've used pattern paper background, and I'm creating a horizontal strip with another sheet of pattern paper, so the blue and white stripe, and then I'm just adding 2 branding strips actually onto the top and bottom of that stripe, just to kind of give a bit more interest, and I guess to kind of make it seem a bit more seamless and not as harsh. I know that sounds weird, but I just found the straight line was a little bit harsh going straight onto the back of the pattern paper, and I wanted to not soften it, because this doesn't soften it, but just add a little bit of definition between the pattern papers. Now, probably I would have used, or could have used, a white background for this, and I think it would have been nice. But I didn't. I used the pattern paper. What I will say about Craft is their pattern paper is thinner than standard cardstock, which is very annoying. It makes the layout a little bit harder. If you're lifting it up and things like that and moving it around, it's a little bit harder. But in a page protector, it's fine. I just prefer a thicker cardstock. Personal preference, of course. So I have stuck down that pattern paper, and now I'm just using some of this foam to pop up the cut file. I'm trying to use up this foam. It's not fun foam in that it doesn't have the adhesive on one side of it, but it was cheap from the reject shop, and I'm just trying to use it up. It's been in my stash for ages, and obviously it's a lot cheaper than using my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, which I love, but this, they are quite expensive when you're using them in large quantities. And I still use my dimensionals, and I'll still buy them because they're one of my favorite foam dot, the Stampin' Up! Dimensional. But yeah, I just want to now kind of save them for smaller things, because I just think they work a little bit better like that, rather than trying to use them en masse for cut files. So I have pulled out my foam to use up. And I've recently bought some more foam actually from the reject shop that does have adhesive on one side of it. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try as well. And I find that I can only stick this down with wet glue. The double-sided tape doesn't hold it enough, whether it's not strong enough, but it definitely doesn't hold it enough. So I need to use wet glue. And that's okay. Probably could have edited this bit out actually. You really didn't need to see me sticking these bits down, but I've just been on a roll with making layouts and editing my videos and doing my voiceovers and uploading them, that I obviously just didn't watch through this properly and didn't edit it out, but that is okay. So how are you enjoying the month of March so far? We have had so many exciting videos coming out to you guys this month, and obviously Laura and Miranda, who we are collaborating with, have had amazing videos going up as well. Their channels will be linked down below. I feel like if you're a regular subscriber of ours, you will probably already be a regular subscriber of theirs too. But if you're not, definitely go and check them out, because I think you'll be really pleased with the content that they both create. They're fabulous people, and they create wonderful layouts, and I get so inspired by both of them. So we were so happy when they asked us to collaborate with them on this month-long series, and we've just had a lot of fun working together. So definitely go and check them out if you haven't already. Now, I just added a couple of stickers, border sort of stickers from the sticker sheet, and they were arrows, and one was in the sort of mustardy colour, and one was in the blue, tealy, not blue, the greeny kind of colour. And I've added those to the branding strips as well. And now I have kind of positioned my cut file where I want it, and I am embellishing. And while I'm doing this, I sort of forget that I have to add a photo. So I'm creating my embellishment clusters. And then at the end, I sort of think, where am I going to put my photo? You'll see me when I get to that point of thinking, wait, I've got to add a photo here somewhere. So I am just layering up a few different bits and pieces that I wanted to include. I am creating a cluster in the kind of top left near the rabbit's ears. In hindsight, I wish I hadn't. I would have probably preferred to just keep the embellishments to the bottom of the cut file of the animal's feet, but I didn't. So that's okay. It still looks good. I'm still really happy with how it turned out. But I think I probably would have preferred not having that cluster in the top, because I think it does, there's a lot going on. And part of that is the pattern paper. The pattern paper is quite busy, so it does make it more difficult to embellish, but that's okay. So I've created 2 clusters, and you can see me now going, where am I going to put my photo? That's right, I've got to add a photo. So I'm thinking I'll tuck my photo in here, and it is a photo of my son standing up in his cot with a big grin on his face. It's a bit hard to tell, but on the ground he has thrown all of his toys that he has in bed with him. So he has a couple of comforters and a bear, and they're all soft toys. So he's old enough now that I feel comfortable with him having things in his cot. He didn't when he was much younger, but now that he is a lot older, I think it's fine. So he's 1 now, and yeah, I'm happy for him to have things in the cot with him. And so that's what this photo is. And I thought it went well with his cut file, because he does have a rabbit, and he has a sloth, and he has a teddy bear, and he has a lion. So I just thought it worked well. So I am adding in lots of different animals and other kind of fun ephemera pieces. So I've got a couple of wooden sort of frames that I'm tucking in just to layer, and then I'm adding some arrows and another little ephemera piece, which I think says wild and free. This bit here, it's like a teepee. I cover it anyway, so you can't really see the words. It just adds a little bit of interest. And then I'm adding these arrows down, and then I add an ephemera piece that says stay wild. And I'm not putting a heap of glue or double-sided tape on these, so they do kind of lift up at the edges, which I think adds a little bit of extra kind of dimension to the clusters, and I'm really happy with that. And so now I'm just working on the cluster on the bottom right. Now, I don't remember if I've actually stuck my cut file down yet. Have I? Who was watching? Did I do that already? I'll soon find out. I've got these little mountains that I'm sticking down now, again, just to create something to build the cluster off, really, and have the cluster kind of sit on. So I'm putting down 3 of the little mountains, and then I'm adding a deer and a fox, I think. Yeah, that's a fox. And then I'm pretty sure I'm adding a deer, and then I add a bear. But I'm obviously going to come back to that. I feel like I haven't stuck the cut file down yet. So I am just now going to attach my photo before I stick the cut file down. So I'm backing my photo on white cardstock, and then I do actually put it on a pattern paper background as well, just to give it a layer of pattern paper behind the photo, just trimming down the white background so it's nice and thin. I just want it to not blend into the background too much, but I don't want the white border or the pattern paper that I put around the photo to take away from what's going on the rest of the layout. So I am mounting it on this blue, which is the same as the rabbit, and I didn't want that to be super obvious, but I wanted a darker colour to back it in, so that was what I had. So I'm just doing that now, and then I will stick my photo down flat onto the layout, and then I think I will stick down my cut file and then go back and finish my embellishments. So it all sort of happened in a funny order, but that's just what happened. I needed to make sure I was putting my photo in the right spot so it could be seen in between the sheep and the rabbit. So yes, that is how it all came together. Now, I had done some pre-thinking about this layout, but it actually only took me like 25 minutes, I think, to do. So I do love using cut files for that reason. It makes layouts come together very quickly, in my opinion. The backing of a cut file definitely takes some time, so I do that in front of the TV usually, where my partner and I are sort of watching TV. At the end of the day, we don't watch a heap of TV, but a few of the days a week we might watch some TV, a few episodes of whatever show we're watching at the time, and yeah, we just like to kind of sit down and chill out for a bit. And so I often will back a cut file in front of the television just because it's something I can do. I don't need to think about it. I can do it in front of the TV, and it's just a nice way to get them backed while still spending some time with my partner. So I'm just sticking down this cut file now underneath the sheep. So again, I'm sticking down a deer. Well, it's a female deer. What's that? A doe. And a little bear, and then a little bunny rabbit that says dream big. And then I'm adding a tiny word phrase, a tiny word phrase that says not all who wander are lost. And then just finishing off the cluster under the bear. And so I'm sticking down the deer and then the little bear, although you can't really tell because the bear says run wild, and I didn't really want that to show up, so I end up covering that with a word phrase piece that says dream big little one, and then another one that says run wild my child. So I knew I wanted to use the run wild my child, and I didn't want the run wild to be on the bear, so I just covered that. But it does mean you can't really tell that there's a bear under there, but that's okay. Now my title is this sparkly green piece that says dream, and then I thought I'd better add a little bit more of the sparkly green onto the page, so I add a cloud up into the top, and then I just add a little circle to the bottom right, just to add the sort of 3 green elements onto the page. Otherwise I just thought if I only had the title it was going to be a little bit much, and I needed to bring something else in. I thought about putting that arrow there, but I thought no, there's too much going on already. Let's just put down the stickers, Katie, and walk away. So I do. But I do pull out one other sticker, so this bird, and I do add the bird up into the top because I did feel like it needed an animal up in that top cluster because there's animals in the other clusters, and yeah, there was a bird on the sticker sheet, so I just popped a bit of foam under that and stuck it up the top there. And I just felt a bird worked well up there because, it's a bird, it's above everything else. And yeah, I was really happy with that. So I'm adding one other of the green foam thicker elements to that cluster on the right, just to again bring those 3 bits of the green in. And now I'm putting those thickers aside. So I am really trying to bash my thicker phrase thickers, I should say, or word thickers this month, and I'm doing a good job of it. I've used up quite a few, so I'm really happy with that. And I've actually used up a few sheets, which has been nice. So yeah, I'm doing my best and I am getting there, which is good. Now I'm adding some gold splatters. Again, I'm getting low on this. I'm really trying my hardest to use it up, and then we're done. So I hope you've loved how this layout has turned out. I really like it. It is busy, but I am really happy with how it turned out in the end. And yeah, really glad that I chose to use this cut file. It's super cute. So I will link to the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file store down below, as well as, of course, the Laura and Miranda's channel, because our Scrap Madness videos are fabulous and we're having a heap of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here is the close-ups so you can get a better look, and we look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. All right, guys. Thank you again. Bye.